Hello, my name is Andrew McLaren, and I'm here to help you with doing scientific notation quickly. This is an estimating strategy, but you can actually use it to double check your answers as well as do the calculation quickly and confidently. I know a lot of students, when they're doing these problems, they'll do a calculation like that and get a number and just like cross their fingers and hope it's correct. We want to be able to know it is correct by double checking it pretty quickly. And it's not that hard, to be honest. So what you do is essentially you're going to take what I call the front number, or like the front end of the scientific notation where it's got like 3.65 or 5.67, and you're going to multiply those two numbers, and then using the exponent rules with just combining exponents. So if you have 10 up to the a power times 10 up to the b power, that is going to be 10a plus b. We're going to use that to combine the back numbers, or the 10 up to whatever power. This is essentially using just like rearranging the expression, because we've got the two numbers here, but it's really like four parts that are being multiplied if you want to think of it that way. So if we want to do this calculation very quickly, you just take the 3.65 times 5.67. It's going to be like a bit more than 15, like 15 to 20-ish by doing that calculation. Just kind of spitballing the numbers. It's going to be a bit more than 15 for sure, because we've got 3 times 5, and it's a little bit more than that. And then what we do is we take these second numbers, the 10 up to the negative 3 and 10 up to the 5, and you just add them up, because this is going to be negative 3 plus 5. This should be 10 up to the, what's that, second power. Now, 15 is not in the exact correct form of what we want to do here. It's going to probably be moving this over one place value. So to make the front number a bit smaller, you're going to need to make the back number a bit bigger. So if we move it over one place value, that's 10 up to one more power. So this is going to be about 2 point something times 10 up to the third power. And we can do that super quickly. We can double check that with doing some actual calculator work if we want to. 3.65 times 10 up to that negative third power. We've got that number. We're going to times that by 5.67 times 10 up to that fifth power. Something kind of like that. And you multiply them together, and we get, yeah, about 2 times 10 to the third power. It was a bit of off doing to our mental math, but it's close. It's actually really, really close. That worked out better than I thought it would. So you can do this when you're multiplying two different scientific notation numbers. You can also do this when you're dividing and in like more complicated formulas. So I'm going to show you this with dimensional analysis and formulas as well. But let's just go over this division example real quick. So if we've got our front numbers right there, and we've got our back numbers here, we've got 7.2 times 2.3. I don't know, was that gonna be not 14, but like maybe 16 or something? And then we're gonna actually, no, this isn't multiplication, this is division. So be careful with your math operations. We've got 7.2 divided by 2.3. I'm seeing about like 3-ish groups of that in there when we do that division. Like 7 divided by like 2.5, or 7.5 divided by 2.5 seems like a close number to what we're looking for. And then if you have like 10 some power divided by 10 up another power, that's going to be 10a minus b. So we've got 10 up to that 6th power minus a minus 2. So this is going to be 10 up to the 8th power. In other words, we're taking a fairly large number, dividing it by a fairly small number, so it's going to be even bigger. So we should have something like 10 up to the 8th power here. We don't need to move the place value over because that worked out nicely with the 7.2 divided by 2.34. But let's go ahead and actually do the calculation and see what we get. Get that right there. And then we're going to divide that by, yeah, this is where your calculator work. You oftentimes end up making little mistakes in combining things and not having parentheses around that second part, that 10 up to that -2. It's a very, very common, easy mistake that I see a lot with the students that I'm tutoring. So we've got something like that. Yeah, 3-ish times 10 up to the 8th power. So you can do this very, very quickly for simple calculations as well as more complicated ones, which we're going to do next.